welcome to What's Hot on the Open. My name is Joseph Cusick from the Cusick Group, securities offered by MoneyBlock. Here to give you a little bit of insight in what's going on now that the bell is rung and we only have 2 more days left in the final trading week of 2016. Taking a look at the bond markets, you have the 10-year and the 30-year both trading up. Right now, the 10-year is trading at 123 and right around 6 ticks, 6 30-seconds, and you also have the 30-year at 148 and 21 30-seconds. So very interesting action in the bonds. The prices are firming up going into the week's end. That means that you're going to start to see yields drop. And as we noted in the opening bell action in Europe, bond yields have been dropping pretty significantly over there in Europe, and so this could just be a year-end type of move. You're also seeing right now that the Dow Jones, I'm taking a look at the futures right now, the futures are trading up about 30 at 19,905. We're going to watch the composite also. That 20,000 mark is going to be watched. It's a very big psychological level. Taking a look at volatility talking about the Dow, the VIX futures are trading right around 1395, up about a little less than a half a cent. You're seeing the Russell 2000 up $2.60. The futures are trading at 1377.10. You're also looking at the NASDAQ futures up 10 1/4, and they're at 4970.25. You're also seeing the S&P 500 futures up about 375 at 2264.75. And finally, the dollar. The dollar strength has been impressive. It's trading at 103.42, up about 42 cents this morning. Again, the dollar strength has been what's been driving a lot of the currency markets as well as the commodity markets. Speaking of commodity markets, we do have the crude markets right now trading up 24 cents. It is now over the $54 level. West Texas is trading at 54.14. So corporate news, though, on the other flip side of this has slowed down. We're getting to a pace right now in the markets, year end, a lot of people off the desk, enjoying some time off. Yesterday's volume, as we noted in the closing bell, was about 50% the average. It was right around 500 million shares in New York, which is about 50% of what average daily volume is on the New York Stock Exchange. So what are some of the headlines that we're seeing come across this morning? NVIDIA. NVIDIA is up another $2.28 this morning. Semis have been red hot the last couple sessions, and that's been holding up the tech sector quite well. As a matter of fact, the tech sector could get a little bit of a boost with that psychological 5,000 mark on the NDX, the NASDAQ, which tracks all of these tech stocks. This boost, again, a psychological level, but NVIDIA is trading at 119.62. It's climbed another 1.9% today in the post markets, and it's extended its 263% move to the upside. Folks, this is absolutely impressive. Amazon up another $4.85 yesterday. They've had some upbeat headlines and some notable sales expectations that have been coming in post the holiday season right now that Christmas is over. It's up about another 0.6% this morning, continuing to drive to the upside. And Evercore actually came out and said it's their top pick for 2017. So Amazon has had some catalysts. You're also seeing Goldman Sachs this morning, ticker symbol GS, trading higher. It's looking like it's going to challenge its inside range that it had last week. That high of 240, right around 243.65. That could be challenged today. Stock's up $1.29 at 242.85. The financials have been red hot with rates continuing to look like they're going to move to the upside going into 2017. Like we had, the Fed funds futures are pricing in at least 3, if not more, rate hikes going into 2017. What's also been interesting this morning is Brazil. Take a look at EWZ, the ETF that tracks Brazil. It's up about 40 cents this morning at $32.80. But you're also seeing the stocks those ADRs that make up the ETF that tracks Brazil stocks. ADRs, these Brazilian stocks have been off the charts. Vale, one of them, up like almost 4% this morning. A lot of activity happening in Brazil. Brazil is also one of those BRICS where you have Brazil, Russia, India, as well as China and Spain. Some of these emerging markets or more mature markets that are really centric also for commodities. Commodities are on the move in spite of the fact that dollar strength has been kicking up. But we're going to keep an eye on that and seeing EWZ and the ADRs that make that up, the stocks that make up EWZ moving so much. We're going to want to put that on the radar. Taking a look at the U.S. Treasury markets, we've seen an uptick in interest. The prices are starting to go up across the board here in the States, not as much as they did in Europe, but we're seeing the 10-year yield down 1 basis point at 2.56%. We're going to keep a close eye on that as we get into the end of the year, last couple days, see if there's trimming up. Bottom line is everyone's waiting and watching for those big round numbers towards the end of the year. 20,000 on the Dow, 5,000 on the NASDAQ. We've seen that once we get close to these levels, there has been some selling. Now, volume is light and thin, so I want to just put a little bit of warning out there. Be careful. These moves could get a little bit whippy and could be somewhat sharp, especially if we get past these psychological levels of 20,000 and 5,000 on the Dow and the NASDAQ, respectively. The reason why I say that, the VIX complex, the volatility complex, has not been moving. As a matter of fact, it's been moving nothing but to multi-year lows, which is telling you there is no hedging going on right now, especially in the short term. So any type of shakeout after we get above these levels, it could be fast and it could be furious. We want to keep our powder dry, keep your risk tightened up, especially if you're trading this week. With that being said, dollar strength, commodities still holding up there, especially after the crop reports have come in. 97% of all the crops, it was a bumper crop this year. We continue to see that gold is holding up in spite of the strength of the dollar. Folks, bonds coming off their best yields that we've seen in years. We want to watch this closely, but just keep your powder dry. All right, folks, that's it for the What's Hot on the Open. We'll be back at 1:30 Eastern Time where we're going to be talking about strategy now. 1:30 Eastern Time here at MarketStream.live. Have a great trading day.